Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo Wop, a podcast where we talk about pop music specifically by deep diving a randomly chosen UK top 10 singles chart from the past. I'm Andy Robinson.
I'm James Cook.
And which top half of which top 10 are we looking at this week, James?
It's the top half of the top 10 of the 3rd of March, 1956.
The 3rd of March, 1956, I say, to reiterate. We've already covered numbers 10 to 6 in our previous podcast, but we should recap those for people who are joining us for the first time. You're welcome, and welcome back if you're here again. Up 2 places to number 10 this week, it's Young and Foolish by Edmund Hockridge.
A song from an obscure musical crooned by Ernie Wise's next-door neighbour.
Up 2 places to number 9, it's Rock Island Line by Lonnie Donegan.
One of the most influential records of all time about smuggling pig iron on a train.
Down 3 places to number 8 this week, it's 16 Tons by Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Never has been being mugged off by working for a living sounded so cool.
Down 3 places to number 7 this week, it's Love is a Tender Trap by Frank Sinatra.
Classic Sinatra warning you that love will lead to being hit by shoes.
Up 2 places to number 6 this week, it's Band of Gold by Don Cherry.
Not that one, but still sung by a pretty good golfer.
As always, you can listen to all of these songs and another half a dozen in our attached Spotify and YouTube playlist. Why is another half a dozen songs in there, James?
Well, just for the hell of it, really. And there are also songs we're going to get into in our bonus tracks podcast that's available for our beloved Patreon backers, the people who kindly chip in and help this podcast keep going. And you can become one. Join our community by going to patreon.com/ShoobyPodcast.
Number 5.
Up 1 place to number 5. It's Only You, and in brackets, and You Alone, close brackets, by the Hilltoppers.
We're being very specific about our ellipses work now, aren't we?
They're not ellipses. Those ellipses are the little dots. These are brackets.
That's right. My apologies.
Yes.
But we are going to be careful about the ellipses work as well.
When they happen.
When they happen.
Yes, we will. We'll try and be careful about all punctuation. Let's just say that.
Art Kelly, about this record, Only You, says, not bad, but not nearly as powerful as the iconic version by the Platters. There's a lot of that in YouTube. This isn't as good as the Platters version.
Well, yeah, it isn't. I mean, the song is good. This is a decent version of it. But when the version by the Platters exists, you know, it'd be like if someone else did Bohemian Rhapsody. You'd go, oh, well, it's fine. But I can see why that's a little bit annoying. But also I can see why it's completely understandable.
Tell me what you know about the Hilltoppers.
The Hilltoppers, they were formed at Western Kentucky State College. They are Jimmy Sacker and Seymour Spiegelman, Billy Vaughan and Don McGuire. Billy Vaughan would go on to be a band leader and have more top 10 hits in America. Jimmy Sacker and Seymour Spiegelman go on to work for a record company. Don McGuire becomes a real estate guy. And, you know, they're a singing group. I think, you know, crucially for mid-50s America, and one reason why this would have been released is they're white. So, and that was a thing, wasn't it? In the 50s, there'd be songs by black artists, for example, the Platters, and then a white artist would re-record it for a mass audience.
That's correct. I mean, the iteration of that always gets picked on is Pat Bowen, isn't it? Or Pat Boone. I forgot. See, I call Pat Boone Pat Bowen now because it's a running joke we have for some reason.
Yeah.
Why did we have that running joke all that while ago? Oh, because of Peter Noone from Herman's Hermits was introduced once on stage as Peter No One. So yeah, here we are talking about Pat Bowen. Anyway,
yes, he was quite sort of vilified really for doing it.
Yeah, yet the Hilltoppers were doing it as well. We don't pick on them. Should we pick on them now or just accept that's part of pop music in the 50s?
I mean, it's the same ethos that a lot of songs of the 50s and early 60s that were recorded by Americans were then recorded by British people to be released in Britain because they thought that would sell more copies.
I feel if you're a pop music fan, you know this song just anyway. We all know it, of course. Only you, G, can make this world seem right. Lovely, yeah. Only you can make the darkness bright when you hold my hand. I understand magic that you do. You know it. It's a classic.
It is on one level a very sweet love song, but it's also putting a lot of pressure on the other person in the relationship.
Do you think, James?
Only you can make this world seem right. Oh,
All right.
Crikey. Better not mess that up.
I once got in a lot of trouble in a relationship I was in, James, for positing the notion that the song Only You, if you change it, if you step to the side and squint a bit, the notion that only you and you alone can make the world seem right, it could be a song about the person, or couldn't it? Rather than giving it to somebody else, that responsibility, what about the notion that only you alone,
Me?
can make everything right? Yeah. I said this. I said that's how I interpreted this song once to somebody, and they were annoyed with me.
So only one
Yeah.
can make the world seem right. So it's all, hey, if you want the world to seem right, it's on you guys. It's like a pep talk type thing.
Could be, couldn't it? We could interpret all these songs that go on about what you do to me and you do something to me. Paul Weller, I'm looking at you, and other songs that I can't quite think of off the top of my head. But if you give them the personality of the singer singing to the listener, that only you can do it, rather than imagining a loved one, it changes a lot of songs, not necessarily for the worse, I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting take on it. Obviously, there is a slightly sinister take on it, particularly to anyone who's seen the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer, in which this is a plot point.
Is it?
Yes. Have you not seen that film?
No.
It's Mike Myers' comedy from the late 90s. He thinks he might have accidentally married someone who's a serial killer. And his mom is like obsessively tracking the clues. And one of the clues is that the serial killer can sing Only You in several different languages. And then his wife sings Only You in several different languages. And he's like, oh my God. Okay. I'm not going to reveal the ending, but it's a lot of fun, that film.
All right. Well, we always like it when pop music appears in, let's call it, later cultural artifacts, don't we? Keeping the song alive for people.
And, of course, it was a top 10 hit for John Alford off of London's Burning in 1996.
Who wrote this song, James?
Buck Ram.
Who was the manager of the Platters?
Samuel Buck Ram, yes.
Did he write this, Buck Ram?
Apparently, he's got the writing credit on it.
Okay.
In the first 50 years of the BMI, which is the American version of PRS, he was one of the top 5 songwriters. Who do you think the other 4 are?
Lennon McCartney.
Well, not both of them.
Paul McCartney.
Paul off of the Beatles.
The better one.
Such controversy.
Who else?
A country and western star?
Who wrote loads of songs? Willie Nelson?
No.
Go on.
Chris Christopherson.
Okay.
Jimmy Webb.
Oh, yes. Wichita Lyman, etc.
And Paul Simon.
Ah, yeah. Simon and Carbuncle, okay.
Yeah. And Buck Ram, who wrote this.
Amazing.
And this was such a monumental hit. It echoes through time.
Yeah.
The Platters version does get into the UK chart later in 1956. So it only gets to number 5, this one having peaked at number 3.
So we are saying in our way, James, that the Hilltoppers are 2 better than the Platters.
Well, we're not saying that. The charts are saying that.
Charts saying that. Don't come at us.
Yeah, but your ears will tell you different, I think. What's his name? Is it Paul Williams, the singer of the Platters?
I don't know. Go on.
He's got such a unique take.
Yeah. You feel that is lacking in the Hilltoppers version.
Yeah, and that is the original, the Platters version as well.
Okay.
And like an old hippie, I prefer the original, yeah.
Yes, well, we've done it in the past, haven't we? When I dared mention that maybe the Beatles, I Saw Her Standing There was better than Tiffany's. I saw him standing there because of my dreadful sexism and my patriarchal ways. But as we often like to say, James, just because another one exists doesn't mean that you can't listen to this one. It doesn't get rid of that one, does it?
Number 4.
Up 3 places to number 4. It's going to be a number 1. It's Rock and Roll Waltz by K-Star.
What? A rock and roll waltz? You can't combine a rock and roll song and a waltz.
I was delighted this song turned up, James, in this week's top 10. It's one of my favourite records ever for some silly reason.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
man.
Well, tell me about your history with this song.
I just heard it on a compilation. One of the ones I mentioned in part 1 when I said I owned 40%. It was on some record of the 50s. chanteuses, let's say, women singing great songs. This was one of them, and it sprung out at me, I don't know, about 15 years ago, this record. And the lyrical concept, I sometimes send it to parents when they're talking about the trouble they have with the kids. I think this is a great record about parental incompetence. Don't you think?
Yeah. So the story of the song is that she comes home from a night out.
One night she was late, came home from a date.
And she walks in, and her parents have put one of the rock and roll records on that she loves, but they're waltzing to it.
They're trying to waltz to a rock and roll song.
It's a cross-genre mashup.
Yeah, beautiful. I don't know why, but it does things to me, this song. And K-Star, you've said this before in the past, I mean, that weird thing when I've looked at K-Star, there's a great colour video of her singing this on YouTube. Check it out in our playlist. But I've got a crush on K-Star, and I always think it's all right, because even though she's in her 30s, long time dead, innit? So, you know, we're in a weird time. I wouldn't have a crush on Girls Aloud in the same way, being an old man.
In many ways, K-Star was the Girls Aloud of her day.
Yeah.
Because they were always doing interesting things with pop music, weren't they? And this is interesting because lyrically, the chorus is like a rock and roll song, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, and then rock.
Let's do it a little
1, 2,
bit.
3, and then roll. But it is a waltz.
1, 2, and then rock. 1, 2, and then roll. They did the rock and roll wall. It's lovely, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, roll 2, 3. It looks so clear to me. I did a rock and roll waltz, etc.
This is a unique song in the history of the UK charts.
Your words?
My words. Why? Why is this unique?
Unique?
Bearing in mind it got to number 1 and what it's called.
Because it's the first record to ever mention a waltz within the title. Seems unlikely.
Not the waltz.
Rock and roll. First mention of rock and roll.
It's the only number 1 in the history of the UK charts to have the words rock and roll in the title.
Is it really?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
a good fact, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. That's surprising. I'm immediately thinking of loads of songs and saying, what about this one? But I know you'll just say, no, it never made number 1, so
Didn't
it's
get to number 1.
futile. All
I mean, there are loads of songs, but this is the only one that got to number 1 by Catherine Laverne Starks, to give her birth name. As we've spoken before, she grew up on a farm in Texas where she'd sing to the chickens.
Yeah, we've mentioned that. I like
Yeah.
that. Since we're talking about things we've mentioned before, James, do you remember in part 1, I dug into a YouTube comment from a fella called Logos Meditation 109? He said, what would old Sigmund Freud have to say about these lyrics?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, because
Yeah.
the parents are involved.
I'm wondering what Sigmund has to say about these lyrics. Absolutely. Parents being rubbish. And then I looked at Sigmund Freud, and he said the sexual wishes in regard to the mother are more intense, and the father are perceived as an obstacle. Digging into the Oedipus stuff, yeah?
I think he's projecting.
And then I also looked what Sigmund said, and he said, we are young, heartache to heartache. We stand no promises, no... Oh, no, that's Pat Benatar again.
Pat Benatar again.
All right, did you like this song? I feel a fight coming on if you don't like it.
Probably not as much as you do.
I don't know why. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
That's,
All right.
that's fine, though. Music by vibraphone virtuoso Shorty Allen, whose birth name is Philip Alleluia. Why would you change that? Lyrics by Roy Alfred, although he originally gave the copyright to his mother Jean under the pseudonym Dick Ware. I mean, Freud could have a field day with that, couldn't he?
Absolutely. Here he comes again around the corner. Maybe Logos Meditation 109 has a point.
Mother, I'm giving this song to you, but you have to be called Dick.
It's so lush, this song, isn't it? With one of the waltzes I mentioned, the first song with rock and rolling, we've only just learned. It's got a beautiful orchestra on, hasn't it? Being woozy and performing these stabs throughout it. K-Star sounding great. The lyrics are always interesting.
And it's also kind of, hey kids, aren't parents squares?
Yeah.
But also, it's quite fond of the parents, so it's not kind of excluding them.
I particularly like the use of the phrase record machine. They were trying to... You don't hear that very often, do you?
I can think of another song that uses the phrase record machine that is incredibly different from this.
Go on.
Which I think...
Give me a clue.
Early 80s American metal
Jump.
band. Yes, Jump by Van Halen.
That's right. Well done.
Put in the record machine.
They
Yeah.
were a rock and roll band as well, but they couldn't put a song at number one with that in the title.
No.
All right.
So
Well-
K-Star and Van Halen, more or less the same, is what we're saying.
Yeah. Do you know, James, I put a thing on our social media, don't we? We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Yeah, follow us
Although
on...
both of those sites are awful, but we are on them, yes.
What do you mean they're awful? Why?
I just go on it, and it's just loads of people I don't follow.
I'm not going on it if that's the case.
Awful.
Why are you trying to drag me onto this? But I was interested because we have a lot of pop star listeners, don't we?
Yeah, they all listen to this.
Yeah. And I
Hello,
put-
pop stars.
Hi, pop stars. Thanks for listening. Chuck us some money. You've got loads. Actually, they haven't, have they? We should give them some for leeching off their fantastic work. So I asked a question on YouTube, James. I put this fantastic video clip up of K-Star singing this song, and I asked these pop stars, what other dances, apart from a rock and roll waltz, could K-Star sing about, yeah?
Yeah?
The answers came flooding in. I offered 1 million pop points for the best suggestion.
You're so generous.
So Tina Turner's on a phone that's a burner, and she is claiming she will private dance for money.
While Ahora Yo Picho and Yo Pereira Sola is a Spanish suggestion from Bad Bunny.
Bruce Springsteen is having a wing-ding and reckons K-Star could dance in the dark.
But Blur say oi and suggest to Kay she could dance whilst living her life in the park.
ABBA says I'll grab you if you're a dancing queen and the club's not too bright.
Top Loader keep going over the idea they like dancing in the moonlight.
Lady Gaga says she'd rather you don't ring her up on the phone whilst dancing, so don't mug her off.
Finally, the Scissor Sisters are telling Kay, Mister, you might think they could muster up a little soft shoe gentle sway, but they don't feel like dancing, so leave them alone and bugger off.
Which pop star do you think deserves 1 million pop points for that suggestion?
Bruce Springsteen.
I agree. Dance in the dark, K-Star, and your parents while they're at it. I also learned, James, this is I've never found this before. Sometimes on Spotify, check out our playlists. There's little facts about the song underneath. Have you ever discovered these? Have you ever used them in your extensive research?
What? No, I come up with everything off the top of my head.
It's said in the Spotify description that K-Star realised audiences didn't particularly like this song when she played it, so she dropped it from a set. That's a fact from Spotify. We work harder than that, don't we? Might not even be true. Mind you, some of the things we've said earlier, they might not be true either, so...
Let's not let light in upon magic. The whole thing will crumble.
Number 3.
It's a non-mover at number 3. It is a UK number 1. It's Almost Tomorrow by the Dreamweavers.
That's right, the Dreamweavers. I'd never heard of them, a bit like the Hilltoppers. Also, I learned on Spotify, James, while I'm digging into the last bit of nonsense I brought up about K-Star. Do you know how many monthly listeners the Dreamweavers have?
Is it just us two?
Pretty much. If you added another 325 people, yeah, all right then.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's showbiz. Number 1 year, 325 listeners the next.
I've loved this song this week, James. I didn't know it before. I've been digging this.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's a lullaby, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's got a soporific effect.
Go on.
Just made me feel a bit sleepy.
They are called the Dreamweavers.
Yeah.
Maybe that's exactly what they're after.
And I couldn't work out whether the person they're singing about has just left or if they're dead.
Yeah, we've discussed this in the past, haven't we, about songs, a bit like we were discussing Only You. If you change your perception about them, could be about yourself. Any song where someone's missing you could be about them being dead, really, couldn't they?
Yeah, and there's that famous song by George Jones, He Stopped Loving Her Today, which is all about a guy who died,
Okay.
where you kind of find out at the end. But this one's a lot more ambiguous. So your heart was so warm, dear, it now has turned cold.
Yes.
You no longer love me, for your memories grow old.
But how can they be dead if they say in the Dreamweavers, it's almost tomorrow, but what can I do? Your kisses all tell me that your love is untrue. I mean, that'd be an unusual song to sing to a dead person, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that is true, to be fair.
Yeah. They're on the verge of a breakup. That's how I
Yeah.
perceive this record.
Or they're terminally ill.
If you like. If you like. All right, then.
So this is a one-hit wonder, the Dreamweavers.
Can I just point out, James, this is important. It's one of the waltzes I mentioned.
Yeah.
It's also got 2 key changes in this song to keep it interesting.
Yeah, you're pleased with that, aren't you?
Yeah, I love a key change. It seems to fit this song. 'Cause it ratchets up the anticipation, doesn't it? And the utter desertion of the narrator.
Written by Gene Adkinson and Wade Buff of the Dreamweavers. Well, they wrote it when they were at high school in 1953, although not at the same school, but they were both in the Greater Miami Boys Drum and Bugle Corps.
Okay.
Which I don't think became Miami Sound Machine. I did look into that. They won a talent show while freshmen at the Uni of Florida, and the prize was to have a twice-weekly radio program.
Really?
Yes.
Blimey.
That's a decent prize for a talent show, isn't it? It's basically, here, have a career.
We do a twice-weekly show, James. Would you say we have a career?
No.
Walter Haidt 5582 on YouTube says, I have 4 versions of this on my phone. Joe Stafford, Snooky Lanson and David Carroll. I guess I like this song.
Yeah, that was a thing, isn't it, in the 50s? If a song was deemed good enough, loads of people would record it at the same time and all send it out there.
Yeah.
But this was the version that got to number 1 in the UK. Where did they get the name the Dreamweavers from?
I don't know. A hippie shop in Glastonbury? That's a dream catcher, my apologies.
They were named by a radio contest.
There's a lot of radio when the
Yeah.
Dreamweavers are involved, okay.
Yeah, come up with a name for this group, and that was what they came up with. No, I mean, these days they would have been called Groupie McGroupface or something.
It's very simple, isn't it? They go in, wherever they're singing, oh, my dearest, my darling, tomorrow is true. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. You know the type of tune.
Mm-hmm.
Generic, if you like, or classic, if you want to use other needless terms.
Reminded me a bit of Tammy. Remember that?
That's a good shout.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
Debbie
all right then.
Reynolds.
Oh, do, that is true. Tammy. All right, Tammy.
It goes different in the chorus, but
Yeah. There's no chorus. It's just a refrain, and there's no bridge. It's just a simple song repeated over and over again. Hence needing the 2 key changes, I imagine.
Wade Buff, who's like the lead singer on it, he married one of the backing singers, Mary Rood, and quit the band. I mean, Mary Rood must be like, I can't wait to get married, because then I can get rid of this bloody name. Who shall I marry? Wade Buff. Okay. It's slightly better, I suppose. They briefly replaced Wade with Lee Raymond, but then Gene Adkinson was drafted, and that was the end of the Dreamweavers.
That's right. It's got the female voice coming in later on this record, hasn't it? A bit like we mentioned the Platters earlier. I always like that about the Platters. They threw in a woman they were representing, yeah.
They let a woman have a go.
We should do that one day. What do you reckon?
All right.
Why don't we get some women in, James? Why don't we be more active? You're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, yeah?
We also have to bear in mind the fact that no women want to be part of this podcast, and making them do it is, if anything, is worse.
YouTube Sucks on 8995 says, it should have been a much bigger hit, especially as Peter, Paul and Mary sang Puff the Magic Dragon, took the same melody which made the song a huge hit in the 60s. Did you spot this week, James, its similarity to Puff the Magic Dragon?
It does sound like Puff the Magic Dragon. That is spot on.
It does, doesn't it? Puff the Magic Dragon lived in the sea. It's my dearest, my darling, tomorrow is... They've stole it, Peter, Paul and Mary. They've robbed dogs.
I mean, you say this should have been a bigger hit. It was a number 1, mate.
YouTube Sucks 8995 said it. I'm quite happy with where it turned out in the charts myself personally. But, you know, again, living with it throughout the week, James, a nondescript song that you think is just a bit of nostalgia with repeated listenings and the stuff around it, it begins to burrow into your heart.
Number 2.
It's a non-mover at number 2. It's Zambezi by Lou Bush.
And his orchestra.
And his orchestra, I forgot. And also he has 146 monthly listeners, I've learned this week.
And 145 of those are me.
Do you love this record? You love a silly dance record, don't you, James?
I do love this record. This record put such a big smile on my face. It's impossible to be in a bad mood listening to Zambezi by Lou Bush and his orchestra. Should we talk about the lyrics first?
Go for it.
The lyrics are Zambezi, 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 Zam. And then at the end, just yelling Zambezi.
Yes.
So Why can't other songs be as to the point
I
as
see.
that? And it kind of bookends just the most gloriously silly lemmings running towards a cliff bit of music, and it puts a spring in my step and a smile on my face, and I think it's great.
You can ask for no more sometimes in pop music than just those simple bodily reactions. Yeah.
It's hilarious, this song. I played it to a bunch of people, and they're always like, "What is this?" I'm like, "This is Zambezi."
All right, a bit like the Platters version, someone pops up, David Daw about 1111, to says far better than the Piranhas version. So
Okay, well, the Piranhas version is different.
it's in the 80s as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets to number 17 in 1982, and they wrote lyrics for it.
Yeah.
The lyrics are all about like throwing gas bills in the bin and such like, what with them being the Piranhas and everything. It was first released and written by South African accordionist Nico Kartsens, and there's another version that charts in 1956 by Eddie Calvert.
Okay.
Lou Bush, sometimes known as Joe Fingers Carr, which I don't
Hello.
think is a sentence,
Hello.
started leading his first ragtime band when he was 12 in
Yeah.
1922,
Wow.
called Lou Bush and his Tickle Toe Four. What did he add to his name to make him look fancier?
Lou Bush.
Yeah.
What did he add to his name? A title of some kind? Sir Lou Bush? Duke Lou Bush?
He put a C in between the S and the H of Bush.
Oh, hello.
To tie it into a song we talked about 3 months ago,
Yeah.
he was at one point married to Margaret Whiting, the singer who first recorded the song that would become Comment to Dear Adieu by Jimmy Somerville.
That's right. I'm like,
Yes.
isn't it when we tie up all the shoelaces of the pop universe into a complicated Gordian knot?
What do you think of this wonderful piece of music?
Well, again, it's one of those. We've discussed it in the past, haven't we? With Perez Prado or other people. These sort of silly instrumentals. I've said it before, James. I'm about to say it again. They really bring out your inner idiot.
My inner idiot.
Ones.
Okay, yours
Only
too.
you and you alone. Scott Easy says, timeless music from a great era. Saw a clip of the creme de la creme of Mao Zedong's government dancing to this one. Back then, they knew how to enjoy themselves.
The Chinese Communist Party
Yeah.
dancing to Zambezi.
Something about Mao Zedong. He helped Zambezi out, didn't he? With some sort of independence. So there's that.
Zambezi is a river, not a country.
It's an area.
All right, well, yeah, because it's named after it's the fourth longest river in Africa, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it flows from Zambia through Angola, Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe to Mozambique, where it empties into the Indian Ocean.
Good facts.
What other songs that have charted in the UK have rivers in the title? Not the word river, but the names of specific rivers.
All right, then. Knowing your nonsense, I would say 7 Tears by the Goombay Dance Band.
Well, I had 7 Seconds by Nana Cherry and Yusin Nador, but yes.
Thames is on my side by the Rolling Stones.
I mean, these are all amazing.
Go on, give me some clues. Give me some clues.
Well, in terms of actual ones, there was a number 1 in 1976 for Pussycat, Mississippi.
Oh, of course, I love that record.
Genesis had a hit with Congo in 1997, which is a river. And there's, of course, Nile Rodgers.
We haven't mentioned Nile Rodgers this week. This is a perfect time to do it. If you're a first-time viewer of this podcast, but Nile Rodgers famously said, just because your name's after a name of a river, it means if it gets in the top 10, it's still a good song. Something like that, wasn't it, this week?
Yeah.
Listen to other ones for Nile being explained better. All right.
Belinda Carlisle.
7 is a place on earth.
Oh, I put Avon as a place on earth.
Okay, all right.
Paul Simon. Yukon, Call Me Al.
Right. I'm glad we record this in separate rooms these days, James, or I'd be throttling you.
But Zambezi's great. It puts me in such a silly mood, this song. I just want to
Yeah.
listen to it all the time.
I'm glad you put a little,
Yeah.
at least a nod to the melody.
Yeah, and when that melody, you go, this melody is great. And then you go, how are they going to top that? And then they have a bit that goes, bam, 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 ba-da, ba-da, ba-dam, bam, 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 ba-da, ba-da, ba. And you go, yes, they've taken it up a notch. It's the equivalent of the bass dropping.
Yeah.
That bit.
Yeah, all right.
Just waiting for that bit.
We talked in part one, didn't we, that all these records were on 78 RPM, not on vinyl, but on shellac. Sponge111111 on YouTube says, I am listening to this with Fred Flintstone on a Parrot record player. Still sounds good. I like that. I forgot all about that in the Flintstones, a parrot being the record player and the stylus.
And then they'd make some world-weary wisecrack before they had to put their beak on the disc, wouldn't they? They'd be like, oh, not this again.
I feel we can't really have a go for people trying to do wisecracks before a record, James.
No. Hey, my favourite thing about the Flintstones, they had a Christmas special.
What do you mean?
Have a think about that.
What are you saying?
When's the Flintstones set?
Before Christmas evolved. Yeah, all right. But you're not arguing with the other factual inconsistencies in the Flintstones. They did get around from their house to their job by pedaling on their feet on the ground. All right.
Pirate record player, totally fine with that. Pirate record machine, I should say.
Are we saying the Flintstones is fake news?
Yeah.
Is that what we've come to?
I'm saying I'm beginning to doubt that it's a documentary.
The UK's number 1.
It's a non-mover at number 1. It's Dean Martin with Memories Are Made of This.
Yes, I'm going to strum a bit while you talk about this, James, because it's so lovely, isn't it?
I'm going to get slightly misty-eyed because this song was played at my grandfather's funeral.
Ah, James, was it?
Yeah.
That's nice. R.I.P. your grandfather, and thank you for your contribution to the panoply of pop music.
He didn't really. He was an electrician, and yeah.
Sweet, sweet, the memories you gave to me. Sweet, lovely, isn't it? So that's its kind of setting. It's a 3-chorder. Take one, magic night of bliss. Whatever he's singing. What's he singing?
Yeah, it's that.
I particularly like the bit. I like the bit that goes, one bite, one boy, some grief, some joy. So, Dean, no, it's talking about emotions. One must go to have memories, I suppose. It's not all good times, is it?
No.
Not like Nile Rodgers always banging on about good times.
It's the song version of the first 10 minutes of the movie Up.
You reckon?
Yeah, you've seen that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then the rest of the film couldn't match the beauty of the first 10 minutes. All right.
No,
then.
you're too busy crying because of the first 10 minutes to notice what happens in the rest of the movie.
Oh, that reminds me, James. I watched, because of your recommendation, I watched, what's it called? Thunder and Lightning?
Oh, Song Sung Blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that film the other day, which is all about Neil Diamond tribute act, yeah?
Yep.
And you told me how touching it was. I thought, I'll watch this, James, since he's given me such a shout-out. Things take a turn, don't they?
They do.
At some point.
Yeah.
I was furious with you. Why is James making me watch this grim film? I thought it was going to be all lovely. People dressed up as Buddy Holly at the beginning. Anyway.
It's not grim. What are you talking about?
I turned it off in disgust, James.
Did you?
Yeah.
You didn't stick with it?
No. I was
Oh,
annoyed.
mate. Get back in. Get back on it.
As soon as the prosthetic amputation came out, I thought, I'm not watching this. I've got other things to do.
If you hide from your emotions, Andrew, they'll just bottle up inside.
And then I thought, because I turned it off, I thought, I'll just see on Wikipedia what happens at the end. It
Oh,
gets even worse. Gets even worse,
That's not
James.
the same. Don't do that.
Couldn't be bothered to watch it because of you telling me what to do all the time. I didn't like it.
That's a damn shame, mate. You've really missed out there.
You said it made you cry
I did.
with frustration.
Why were you so frustrated? Because bad things happen to the nice people. Yeah, well, you've got to watch it to the end.
Just watched Elvis being epic in concert. I was all happy. I thought I'd watch another film about music. You absolute nana for putting me onto that.
It's a brilliant film. I really like it.
What do you make of Memories Are Made of This? We both think it's brilliant, so we can't have an argument.
Well, you
on
know,
this.
it does remind me of going to my granddad's funeral. Obviously, it's quite an emotional song, so obviously I turned it off after a minute because I couldn't cope with it.
That's right.
And I just looked up on the internet how it ended.
When do you give up on things? This is good. We're talking about memories. What are your
When they're
memories?
bad, not when I'm emotionally involved.
What have you given up and walked out of before? I mean, I mentioned the Britpop play, didn't I? Back whenever we were talking about that. I wish I'd walked out of that. I don't actually. It was all
I don't know. I'm quite tolerant of particularly plays and films. Even if I don't like them, I will try and stick them out as much as possible.
I think if you're slightly annoyed, you should always turn it off, unless it's this podcast you're watching now, then stick right to the very end.
Yeah, I don't know. My finger's hovering over the button right now. I'll tell you that much.
Salamander676 says about Dean Martin, he sounds so much like Elvis, and I believe Elvis absolutely cited him as one of his inspirations. So I'm going to say Elvis sounds a bit like Dean Martin, perhaps Salamander, but thank you for your contribution. Dennis Harvey 7899 says, if more people would follow the steps of this song, we would live in a virtual paradise. What do you make of that?
What are the steps of this song? What do you mean? I mean, it's very heteronormative.
Go on.
One girl, one guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be, does it, Dennis Harvey? I suppose he's bringing his Judeo-Christian beliefs to this record.
Oh, that again. So 1956, Dean Martin, I mean, he just got divorced. His partnership with Jerry Lewis had finished, and he wasn't happy about how that was going anyway, because he just felt completely sidelined.
Dean Martin did?
Yeah, in the double act. Because they would do movies where Dean Martin wouldn't do anything. He'd like sing a song, and then Jerry Lewis would do the rest of it, which is kind of one of the reasons why it never continued after its contractually obliged length of time. And then this is a massive hit for him, and it's his only UK number one. Incredibly, he has 4 UK number 2s.
Okay.
But only one number one. Why has he been back in the top 40 every year since 2018?
I would imagine because of that Let It Snow song. Hey, I learned this another time. Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow by Dino has just reached the 1 billion stream mark.
Wow.
I didn't throw that in this week because I thought it'd be really boring and there's no point for it. Yeah, here we are.
Written by Sammy Khan, who we talked about in part 1.
That's right. Sammy Khan. Good old Sammy. Banging
Khan.
them out.
Sammy Khan. What has this song, Memories Are Made of This, got in common with The Bare Necessities?
Not Sammy Khan then.
No. Does Dean Martin sing it wearing a coconut bra?
Sometimes, I imagine.
Like Baloo the Bear. Oh, no, that's not. That's I Want to Be Like You, not The Bare Necessities. Apologies.
Go on, no idea. Why?
Written by the same person.
What?
Terry Gilkyson.
You just said Sammy Khan. Oh, just the words.
No, Sammy Khan wrote Let It Snow.
Okay, I've got too confused. Let's start again from the beginning.
Too many authors. All right. Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo Up. This week, Terry Gilkyson, Richard Dare, and Frank Miller wrote this song, or as they're also known, the Easy Riders.
Okay.
Who are the backing singers on this song.
And a great job they do. Thanks, Easy Riders.
Eliza Gilkyson, who was a singer-songwriter in her own right, said about her dad, Terry, he hated people looking for hidden meanings in his songs, and he did it as a job. He went to the office every day and often wrote about us. Memories Are Made of This. It's about our family. It's him meeting my mother and having 3 kids.
Oh, nice.
Yes. This isn't the original version.
Is it not?
No.
Go on.
Even though the writers are the backing singers on it. The first recorded version is in the movie The 7 Hills of Rome, IMDb rating 5.8, where it is sung by Mario Lanza. But that is never released. The first released version is by Mindy Carson.
Okay.
Do you know what significance this song has in Hungary?
No.
After the revolution in 1956, the song was adapted as the Song of Homesickness, but obviously in Hungarian, and used as an unofficial anthem for refugees scattered around the world. The German version of this song, which is also called Homesickness, that sold 8 million copies worldwide. So this isn't even the most successful version of this song.
Hey, I did some looking at what Dean Martin did, didn't I? In my occasional feature, I put Dean Martin. You sing it this week, James. You do a title.
Andy put Dean Martin into Google and hit news.
Obviously, there's no news about Dean Martin so much.
Cool, that's the end of that feature then.
Hold your horses.
Oh, right.
The most recent thing that I learned was that Dean Martin, this is a headline, James, Dean Martin trashed this expensive vintage car at McDonald's drive-thru.
When was that?
It was from 1976 story, but for some reason they're reporting it now.
Well,
Do you
it's
know-
probably the most recent thing.
That's right. Do you know why you trashed his expensive vintage car at a McDonald's drive-thru? When I learned and I clicked on the news because I'm such a news hound.
I imagine, what with it being Dean Martin, that substances might have been involved.
No, it was the car was too big. So there he was, Dean Martin in 1976, trying to get a McDonald's. I mean, you could go to a McDonald's driving now and every car's massive, couldn't you? So Dean Martin would fit it right in 50 years later.
He was ahead of his time when it came to going to the drive-thru.
That's right. I also learned, supposedly, while I was looking at the news, that with Frank Sinatra and Don Cherry, we mentioned, they invented something. Can you guess what that might be? You love a little quiz. Let me throw one on you now and again.
Was it Dolby noise reduction?
No, it was to do. It was a golf beverage cart.
I could have guessed that, really.
Yeah. So there we are, James. That's the top 10 from this 1956 chart. Yeah, what would you say about it as a snapshot in general for a time that neither of us know or remember?
Well, there's some things you would expect. There's Frank Sinatra, you'd expect him knocking around. There's the stalwarts like K-Star and Dean Martin. But then Lonnie Donegan just sneaking in there, giving a little sense of what's to come.
Yes. What would you say was your favourite?
Zambezi.
No need to think about it for you,
No,
was there?
it's Zambezi. Which of these songs will I listen to all the time? It's Zambezi.
I'm going to go for Rock and Roll Waltz then because I've loved that record for years. But in a
why not Zambezi?
because I sort of knew
I don't understand.
In a
Don't
new
understand.
styly, James, what I'm going to go for is that weird dream song I like so much. Whoever sang that, I've forgotten already.
The Dreamweavers. It's
The
almost tomorrow.
Dreamweavers, of course. I loved it and it will remain true in my heart forever. Thank you to all the artists who made these records. Thank you to all the producers and musicians, the backing choirs. Thank you to the people who bought 78 shellac or maybe the sheet music. Yeah.
And their relatives.
And their
their
relatives.
surviving ancestors.
Yeah. We're thanking everybody, essentially,
Yeah,
aren't we?
thank it all.
And all the people who came before them relatives. Well, mainly thank you very much for listening to this 1956 edition of Shooby Dooby Doo Up.
Yes, we're very aware that these ones are for the purists. So if you're here, thank you. You're our favourites. And if you want to, upgrade your listenership to be a Patreon backer. Go to patreon.com/Shooby Podcast.
And whatever you do in the meantime, don't forget to Shooby Dooby Doo Up.
Bops you up.